all of those waves of liberation that has been happening over the last 2 to 3 weeks are bringing those waves to the beach. Fruition. There's not many choices in waves. Either you ride the wave, collect it to the beach, or the wave takes you. Whatever happens, those waves will just keep on coming. And sometimes, if you're not riding it, you've just got to simply go through it, because your wave is waiting for you. So welcome to Vibration Energy News with Synergy of Being. Let's get straight into the details and we'll come back to all of that surfing later on. If we're surfing the sun, forget about it. There's nothing at the moment. There's nothing going on. There's a minor coronal hole in the southern hemisphere, no sunspots, and we've officially reached solar minimum, where the sun is no longer giving us the vibrations that the earth needs. And we can see that with that dancing filament on the right hand side, as it's just causing a bit of stress for the hurricanes around our way. This is the Earth's magnetic field. As you can see, it's been calm. There was a little bit of a bump at the beginning of the week, but that was about it. The southern polar vortex is starting to break down. It's gone down into a square sort of shape, which was it was holding last time. That had a vague eye, but it's breaking down gradually towards South America. We can see this a little bit here when we zoom out a little further, but the northern vortex is definitely starting to take shape. We can start seeing the shape of it as it comes into play. The hurricane that was out in the Atlantic didn't actually come up through to the UK, but that's created quite a lot of wind in, etc., and cut the continent into two, with the northern hemispheres having a lot of cold and a lot of snow, but not necessarily in Europe as such, but over in America, and the south being very hot. But the interesting thing is this north vortex starts taking hold. We can see that hurricane that was over, the typhoon that was over in Japan, and they seem to be opposite to the one that was in Europe in the Atlantic. So you get this yin-yang effect going on. We could see this in the earthquakes. So here we start off with the root chakra and the throat chakra kicking in, and that configuration stayed in a little bit, just as we had the sacrum come into play a little bit. And when the sacrum dropped out with the root, the plexus solis came back in. And then we had a configuration during the week, in the middle section of the week, where we had the root, the plexus solis, and the heart. And this configuration stayed around for 2 days, really. And it started bringing those sort of solutions to the situation. The heart's desire started coming through, and that's when the throat chakra started coming back, and the crown chakra took over from the root chakra, so the energy went vertical, where we could see this happening in Syria and the things that were happening with Turkey and etc. All the chakras really sort of came into play to build this sort of situation. There was a lot of human inspiration in all of this, and that's what we should be understanding. It's a two-way street. It doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree with what happens in the world. We have an effect on the energy as much as energy has an effect. And this is what we can see here. This is what we call sprites. And this is like inverted lightning bolts coming from the earth, meeting the electrical charge, the electric magnetic charge coming from the sun, and it will adjust that magnetic charge going back towards the sun. There is an interaction that's going into play, and we should be conscious of that. So, without further ado, let's work out how this vibration is affecting us and what we can do together. I hope you enjoyed the beginning part of this video, and it is very much all about that at the moment. These waves that keep coming through are going to oblige us to actually destock on our general crap. that we need to deal with. So we can stop getting passionate about things that don't really serve a great deal and start getting passionate about things that do serve a great deal. Now, these solutions will be coming to the fore whether you like it or not, like the waves. So you're either going to ride this solution into the beach to its accomplishment, or you're going to get bowled over by the wave itself. If you're still letting go of stuff, you still have to go through these waves, and you may find it a little bit tricky at the moment with the waves without dropping at all, is constantly coming through. And as we've seen with the sun, it's not what's going on the sun that's influencing this in a way. The lack of activity of the sun is a great influence on us, yes, but we're not receiving those good vibrations just so we can shirk it off. This is a moment of actually facing up and standing up to what we actually believe within ourselves as people individually. I think everybody knows that you can't change the world, but you can change yourself inside you. So if you change your world, the world will forcibly change. Everybody understands that now. It's just a question of taking hold of those waves and riding them. And this is where you have to understand that sometimes waves can break up rocks. So they can be destructive, as we've seen with Erdogan and Trump and everything that's been going on in Turkey. As I said last week, I think it will come to nothing at the end of the day. It will just do anything. If it's going to do anything, it will actually serve to waken us a bit more to what we are doing and individually through our lives. And these solutions that are coming from two sources of energy at the moment. The primary source is the earth itself. If you imagine, we've taken off the frying pan off of the fire, so the sun's no longer affecting the source. But as the source, cools down, it's going to start congealing, and we're going to start getting a little bit more thickness in the source itself, and you're going to start tasting the essence a lot clearer. So there is a lot less energy about, that is sure, but the energy that is about is very, very clear. If you are clear with yourself, forcibly you are going to have a clear energy around you, and energy will appreciate this. If you are clear with yourself of your needs and your wants, and you start following the evident path, you cannot change the structure of the wave. You can only ride it, or be taken up by it, or simply go through the wave just so you can position yourself to take the wave. But at some point you have to take the wave. And these solutions will come to the forefront all the time. It's been stocked in the Earth's energy since a very, very long period. And this release energy has actually been building over the last 2 years as the sun's been gradually quietening down. So we can actually hear the vibrations of the Earth. And you should feel those vibrations within yourself. You are part of the Earth. We're all part of the Earth. The decisions that you make within yourself will change everything that is around you. It's not complicated. It's really not rocket science. Finding that evident path within yourself and daily connecting to the beauty that is around you, even if you are in the centre of London. I love London, but I can sit in Piccadilly Circus and still pick out the beauty of the place. It doesn't necessarily mean sitting on a mountain by yourself meditating. It's certainly being involved in this change, being involved in the wave, consciously taking that decision to start paddling for that wave, start propulsing yourself forward so you'll help yourself and the sky will help you, as it were. So these solutions that are coming to the forefront are just offerings from the Earth. Whether we take it or not is another matter. And I would suggest you start to learn to get into sync or synchronization with these vibrations. The other vibrations that is coming through is obviously as the sun has got weaker, the cosmic rays will increase. It's not necessarily that there is more cosmic rays, it's just simply because the sun is working less, therefore it's allowing more cosmic rays to arrive at Earth. Now these are good things, but they can create erratic thinking, spontaneity thinking that is not necessarily a good thing. Maybe I should just say Trump Erdogan to try and explain that situation. So these cosmic rays can actually cause problems physically. So with this extra releasing energy that we've been receiving over the last 2-3 weeks, things are now starting to come to the surface. And I've seen this within my healing. This week, and certainly part of last week, I started noticing the increasing of skin problems, eczema and psoriasis, the two main situations that came to the forefront, but also things like, shall we say, lower ends of the digestive system, and also sort of, with kidneys and stuff like that, who was all dealing with filtering and getting things out. So that's what's been really hitting the healing front, and this is, I think, going to carry through for the next week or so. It should die down in 1 or 2 weeks, but with the sun not actually giving any sort of guidance, it's mainly going to be coming from the earth. So with these cosmic rays, yeah, there is an influence by these cosmic rays upon people, but if you're within tune to the earth, you can accord these two vibrations together. Therefore, this erraticness actually becomes something very, very powerful. All of a sudden, you have the force of the universe to accomplish what you're supposed to be doing on this planet Earth, because you're in tune with the vibration of the Earth. You can go back and check out my video on the evident path. That should help you, certainly on a daily basis, to start getting in tune with all of this sort of vibration that is directly around you. And obviously, come and visit our Facebook page, Synergy of Being, where we have live chats sometimes at the end of the week to look at the longer view, where we can ask questions and discuss the thing openly together. I hope you've enjoyed this week's energy news. Don't forget, it is still releasing. Those waves are still pounding in towards the shore, and the better you can get into swing with the vibration of the earth, the easier it will be for you to catch these waves. It is a transformation moment, and I say moment, this moment has been existing now for the last sort of 5-6 years, and will keep existing for another 5 or 6 years. But these are the real heights of the waves that are coming through at the moment. So make sure you've just let go of old means and start actually living the life that you want to live. And don't forget, it should be fun. So please like, subscribe and share, and we will all see you again next week.